Your Honor, for the next witness I wish to call, I'd like to call Mr. Scott Barnhill. Mr. Barnhill, would you please state your name?
Yes, my name is Robert Scott Barnhill.
All right. And Mr. Barnhill, where do you work?
I work as a case manager for the 23rd Judicial District Drug Court Program.
All right. Did the drug court program receive an application from the defendant?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And was the defendant provisionally accepted to the program?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Can you state some reasons why the defendant was accepted provisionally to the program?
Well, we do a lot of assessments, probably, I don't know, 100, 200 years. We see a lot of participants or wanted to be participants in the jails and talk to them, and I've had them all from looking at me like they're just ready to go back to their cell, go to bed, from some trying to just probably get out of jail, and then some more intensive through talking with them, through emotions, through I'm tired of this life, and can visually see that they're ready for something different.
That last situation you described, was that your impression of Mr. McElhinney?
It was.
Okay. And to determine whether an applicant's accepted, how does that process work with the recovery court?
We have an assessment form that we use, that we do first with each applicant. And then we extensively speak with him after that over what do you want out of drug court. Just try to dig around and just see what kind of individuals. It's our one time to really probe and to understand and to feel where they are, and are they broken? Are they ready? You know.
The reasons given by Mr. McElhinney, do you recall any of those?
Yeah. I just know that after we finished the initial paper assessment, that we got to talking about, you know, are you ready to really change? You know, are you at that time, or have you had enough? And he broke down crying on me, and you know, I could tell that he's been down the road through drug addiction, and he just wants a way out. And so yeah, basically.
Did he express to you his goal in the recovery court process, should he be accepted?
He didn't go in too much intense. He just said that he wants to, you know, be sober. He wants to complete it. He wants a life like I'm a recovering addict, like me, like Doug, like the 300 and some odd graduates that we have. That we have a 82% success rate, that they not only stay out of the court systems, but stay sober. It's a very disciplined program. And
is that 82% success rate, that's if someone does complete the program?
yes.
You're saying that 82% do not reoffend?
They do not. We just done a survey back with the state 3 years, for the past 3 years, and that's our percentage rate that we have come up with.
So if someone makes it through the program, they have around 4 out of 5 chance of not reoffending.
Exactly.
Within what time period?
I mean, I don't even know if there is a time period. You know, so as much as I've kept up with for the last 9 years, you know, 9 years,
Yes, sir.
to my opinion.
Now, if someone doesn't complete recovery court, what happens?
They get terminated. They'll be either terminated and they'll go do their sentence.
So in recovery court, what services are provided to the applicant should they be accepted? How would it start if Mr. McElhinney was?
If he was accepted in the drug court, we would come to the jail, pick him up, the Dixon County Jail, and then we would either send him to a 28-day treatment program or a 1-year-long treatment program. As soon as he completes it, we will go pick him up. We will transport him there, we will transport him back, and then he comes back to drug court and starts his drug court venture. which will basically, all of our men work at the same plant. He'll get a job there, and he'll go to work. He'll be on house arrest for the first 6 months. He'll go to work. He'll come to our shop or office. He'll take a drug screen. He'll go into a group or meeting, whichever there is that day, and then return home with the guys at our sober living house and call his sponsor and work the steps, do his chores, and then get rest and get ready for the next day. Very disciplined program.
And if Mr. McElhaney were to break any of those rules, what could happen to him?
Well, as a team, we have a full team that we discuss sanctions regarding what the rule breaking is, basically. And it could, it could be as low as write-offs up to being put on hold. There has been jail time imposed on the weekends. There's a multitude of, it's all depending on what he kind of does, basically, to get a sanction.
And if there is a sanction, is there a court hearing on that where he has a lawyer representing him and he gets to argue about what happens to him?
Nope. Judge Lockett Mash and the team will get together, and whatever he does or whatever we deem necessary to be the punishment for it, he will accept that as is.
And that can include revocation of his drug court and being sent to prison.
Right.
Is that right?
Exactly.
To serve the sentence that is ordered by this court.
Yep, and he won't know it until the guard comes behind him and handcuffs him and takes him away.
For people who enter the program, what is the chance generally of them succeeding?
I'd say a 75% chance.
And then after that, as you testified already, there's a good chance of them not reoffending.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, 82%. We just done a recent survey. Yeah.
So do you believe that recovery court works?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
It worked for me.
Now, there was some testimony earlier about Mr. McElhaney going through Hope Center. Can you distinguish, this was Hope Center several years ago, I think. Can you distinguish that from what recovery court does? What's the difference?
Okay, well, the Hope Center is more a spiritual program. It also does CR. They have meetings that celebrate recovery and different things, but it works on a spiritual thesis, basically, that, and I believe, that through Christ, anything can happen. I have no doubt. He strengthens us all. But also know that discipline, because of our own self-will, that we have to be disciplined in that. We, as addicts, recovering addicts, we have to do certain things. It's like an antidote each day to be able to stay sober. I think you need the spiritual foundation, and I think you must have the discipline foundation. And I think that the combination is why drug court works so well.
Thank you, Mr. Barnhill.
Hi, Mr. Barnhill. I just have a couple questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're a case manager at the drug court. Tell me what that means.
Basically, I drug test all the male participants. I do groups with them. It just means that we're in constant, me and Doug are in constant, always around them, always working with, talking with them in our office, counseling them, working them through things, issues. It means a lot of different things, but.
Do you live at the drug court housing as well with them?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there someone that supervises them that lives there with them?
Yes, ma'am. Each house has a house manager that supervises them.
And is that somebody that works with the program, or is that another participant?
That is usually another participant. We do have sometimes other ones that have went through Synergy and just, want to come into our houses that are very structured, but most of the time it's a participant that is in the upper phase that hold a lot of trust with it.
So in looking at the provisional acceptance that was provided, it stated that you assessed Mr. McElhaney and you recommended CAP. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So CAP is only a 28-day treatment program, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, why would you recommend that versus Synergy if Mr. McElhaney has an over 20-plus year usage history according to his own accord?
Well, I know, I have met Mr. McElhaney before at the Hope Center. I used to counsel there and stuff, and I know what he's like to be sober. I know he's had that in him. Sometimes it just has to be brought back out or get into the routine. A lot of times people that we send to Synergy are have no treatment before or extremely high risk, and most of our participants are high risk, but I just deemed that 28 days would be appropriate for them.
And do you feel like, I mean, you are obviously able to hear it today too, that the probation has assessed him as high risk?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that change your opinion on what he may be, if he was allowed to go to drug court, what he may need?
I mean, we always discuss as a team, you know, and a lot of our high-risk people that we get in, they can go through a 28-day program, and we can get them back, and they can do very well too.
And then,
It's Synergy or something.
and obviously, y'all know I'm a big advocate of the drug court for many people, but there are people that violate drug court. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I mean, obviously, this court, and I have seen them multitude of times coming in and having to drag y'all in to testify about a violation for that. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it's not just as simple most of the time as that they just go and do their sentence, though, right? If they violate drug court?
It depends on what kind of violation that they have. You talking about like a termination or something?
If they're terminated.
Yeah, they go do their sentence.
Well, they're entitled to have a VOP hearing, aren't they?
I believe, I'm not for sure.
Okay. Most participants of drug court are placed on probation, is that correct?
I believe so. I know I don't know if it's different judges have different types of way that it is written up. So I'm not for sure if it's just a violation or if they've been furloughed. I'm not for sure.
Okay, but it's possible that in order to send a person to serve the rest of their sentence, they get to have yet another hearing in front of a judge, and not just Judge Lockermash in the drug court.
I'm not for sure.
I'm going to object and just say it calls for a legal conclusion.
So tell us how drug screens work at drug court. How often do they get tested?
We have a color line that we have. It's red, white, and blue. We put different participants on red, white, and blue, depending on how they come in. I call a color every day. If I call red, it's your color. You come to the shop and you take your drug screens. They average, I'd say, about 2 to 3 drug screens a week. They are supervised, about as supervised as you could get as a drug screen. I don't think there's no way you could ever pull nothing over us.
All right.
So that's how that works, yeah.
And you'd agree as well that there's a lot of times that people in jail will express interest in drug court, but realize that it's because it's their only alternative to prison.
True, yeah. And we've had a lot of graduates that has clearly said that. They just wanted to get out of jail. And then guess what? They got into our drug court program. Things started changing. They got a relationship with God. They got a relationship with their family. They started paying taxes. They started paying their child support. They started paying their fines. Things just started happening for them. And they started changing. And they realized it was something they didn't want to let go of anymore.
And I think on y'all's provisional acceptance, it states as well that Mr. McElhaney has a hold out of Fairview. Are you
Yes.
aware of what that is?
I cannot remember if I wrote that. I just know he had a hold. And the reason I know it because I know what the Fairview's hard to deal with. and
Okay.
get him transported, and that's the only thing I can remember.
So even after today is done, if he was to be allowed to go to drug court, he'd still have to go to Fairview and deal with whatever they have on him.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. And then, is he also required to serve a 180-day sentence in Robertson County for failing to pay child support?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's also something that he's gonna need to go and deal with
Yes,
prior to ever getting to go to drug court, if that's an option.
exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Burnhill. I don't have any other further questions.
All right, thank you.
Anything further for this witness?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. We'll take a 15-minute recess.
All right. Mr. McElhaney, would you please state your name?
John Wesley McElhaney.
Okay. And in this case, you've been convicted of aggravated burglary, vehicle burglary, and attempted aggravated burglary. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're asking the court to decide your sentence and allow you to go to recovery court here in this judicial district. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And I would like to hand you a document. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
All right. What is it?
It's a acceptance letter to drug court.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the copy of the letter you received showing that you were accepted provisionally?
It's exactly like it. Yep.
All right. Your Honor, I move to make that an exhibit to his testimony.
All right, mark it as an exhibit.
So, Mr. McElhaney, do you have a drug problem?
Yes, I do.
When did you first start using drugs?
Probably 14.
Okay. What drugs were those?
Marijuana.
Okay. And what led to that?
I don't know. I lost my dad when I was young, and my mom remarried, and man she married, he was not a good person, and he was abusive. So my mother let me kind of stay away from the house, and I got tangled up in the wrong bunch,
How was he abusive to you?
mentally and physically.
Okay. Like physically, he'd strike you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your father had passed away before that?
Yes.
Yeah, how old were you when your father died?
Well,
How did your father die?
he was killed in a car accident.
Okay. And did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you have a brother?
Yeah, I've got a couple of brothers and a sister. But when my dad died, I had a stepbrother. His name was Casey, and we grew up together. And 4 years after my dad passed, he was killed in a dirt bike accident.
Okay. Were you close to Casey?
Yes, very close.
And do you believe that drugs played a role in your emotional life?
Yes, I do.
Can you talk about that? Why did you use drugs?
Well, like I said, I buried my dad. I buried my brother. When I was 21, I buried my firstborn son. 4 years after that, when I was 30, I lost my best friend, my granddaddy, in a tractor accident in the front yard. 4 years after that, I buried my mother tragically. And I don't know.
You said your mother died in 2019, is that correct?
2018.
2018? Okay, what led to her death?
Well, she was diagnosed with a lymphoma disease years prior to this, and she had to do chemo and radiation, which is a form of breast cancer, and she beat it. And she developed MS, muscular sclerosis, because of the chemo and whatnot. She could walk around the house. She could do things. She could walk around Walmart that are getting these dizzy spells. So she was doing a sleep study at Franklin's Women Medical Center in Williamson County. And it was an outpatient deal from 3 to 6 o'clock. She had to sleep, and they would study her sleep patterns. Her insurance paid for her a hotel to stay nearby, so she didn't have to drive back and forth up there for 5 days. And the last night, I guess she got up during the night, and the hotel room and had one of her dizzy spells, and she fell and she hit the back of a chair and crushed her esophagus and suffocated her during the floor.
Were you close to your mother?
Very close.
Okay. And you said you started using, was it marijuana when you were young?
Yes.
Okay. Did you move on to using other kinds of drugs?
Yes.
And when did you start using something else, and what was it?
I don't know, after I graduated high school, I started experimenting with cocaine and pills, and this wasn't enough. So it moved on to heroin, and I got clean there for a little while until my mother passed, and I knew if I went back to heroin that it'd probably be the death of me, and I started with meth, experimenting with meth, and
Did you overdose on heroin?
yes, I did.
When was that?
About 4 months after my mother died. It was probably January 2019.
Were you hospitalized for that?
I woke up in an ambulance on the way to the hospital.
Have you had periods where you used drugs and periods where you did not use drugs?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you talk about a time, some period of time when you were clean?
Well, I got, let's see, I got married 2009 to a lady from Williamson County, and we had 2 children, and I was sober the whole time. I was married to her for 5 years.
Okay. Now, you are aware of the criminal history that's been presented to this court, right?
Yes, I am.
And you agree that it's extensive, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, in that, are there charges, convictions that you got that had to do with drugs, your drug use?
Yeah, I'd say just about all of them, probably.
Okay. Can you talk about a theft that you believe was connected to your drug use?
In this case?
Not in this case, but in the past, where you've
I
had
got
criminal
two-
convictions.
I got 2 prior theft charges, and one time I was cutting a tree for this old man, and as I was cleaning it up, I noticed next door that a man had this huge pile of copper, and well, I come back a couple of nights later and some copper. And then my other charge is I traded some heroin for a vehicle, and I had a failure to appear, and the police come to my house and they run all the vehicles in the driveway, and that vehicle that I traded happened to be stolen. So they charged me with theft of property.
And you were convicted in both of those situations, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then I want to ask, have you had custody of your kids in the past?
Yeah, all of them in the beginning.
Okay. And did you lose custody of your children?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Well, my 2 middle children, Avon and Weston, when I left my wife, I left her and the kids. And my oldest daughter, she's 18 now. But my youngest daughter, I haven't seen her in a couple of years. Her name's Addison. She's 9. The first 2 years of her life, she lived with me and her mother. And one day, her grandmother showed up at the house with an officer and took my kid and gave us a court date 3 days later. And they done a hair follicle test and took my little girl.
Okay. So, right now, do you talk to your kids?
Yes, I talk to them every day.
And they contact you in the jail?
But yeah, I have it. It's called a chirp. We can text message back and
Okay.
forth, and I talk to all of them.
I want to ask you about these charges, this case that we have in court. Oh, well, let me go back, actually. Excuse me. All right. Mr. McElhaney, you graduated from high school?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you're trained as an electrician?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when was the last time you did any work as an electrician?
A couple of weeks before I got arrested.
And during those times when you've been clean, have you been working?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Regarding the child support that was brought up, have you tried to pay child support?
Yeah, I do. I try. The two that my ex-wife, Ava and Weston, Ava's 14, Weston's 11. I'm supposed to pay $681 a month for the two, and then Addison is $535 a month. So it's over $1,000 a month. I'm required to pay for three.
And has drug use interfered with your ability to keep a job?
Yes, sir.
Have you been fired from jobs because of drug use?
Yeah, one time.
One time?
Yeah,
How recent was that?
a long time ago. I was in 2008, probably.
So this case, did you tell Ms. James that you were under the influence of methamphetamine at the time that you were accused of these offenses?
I did.
Okay. And on the property of Mr. Michael Zajac, why were you walking around his property?
Well, I ran out of gas, and I was trying to get home, and it was getting late, and I walked up to this house and knocked on the door. Nobody answered. I walked out. On my way out, I turned around and walked back to the garage, and the door was unlocked. I walked inside, looking for gas. No gas. I left. There was a building out at the end of the road. Went in there. I was looking for some gas, man. I wasn't trying to.
What kind of vehicle were you driving?
On a four-wheeler.
Okay. And then regarding Ms. Thaxton's property, do you agree that deputies located you behind her house getting water?
Yeah, after Mr. Zajac come out and I left, I was sitting down at the community center. Police pulled up, questioned me, and I said, "Oh, I'm walking home." So on my way home, I've seen them coming, so I got off the road because I didn't want to have any more contact with them. And that's when I was walking through Mr. Thaxton's yard, and he come out and saw me, and it was hot. I got me a drink of water at Mrs. Thaxton's, and that's when they got me.
Okay. And did you take any property from anyone?
No, I did not.
Okay. Do you remember your state of mind then? You said you were under the influence of methamphetamine.
Yeah,
Did you know where you were?
yeah. I didn't really know. I didn't know whose house I was at, but I knew which direction I was headed.
Okay. Now, since you've been in jail, let me ask you this. You were arrested in August 2024, and you've remained in jail ever since then?
Yes, sir. It's almost 16 months.
So how many months is that?
This is the 16th month.
Okay. May I please hand the... Mr. McElhaney, do you recognize these certificates?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. Tell me about these documents.
Well, they've got these iPads in the jail that they bring around about every 10 days, 3 days. And they have different programs on these tablets that you can take. And each section of these programs has a quiz to take. And these, I don't know, I think there's like 9 or 10 here that I have completed.
So are these your certificates that you've earned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are these fair and accurate copies of the certificates that you've earned through completing these classes at the jail?
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I move to make that an exhibit to his testimony.
All right, mark it as the next exhibit.
And what sorts of things have you learned through the course of completing those classes?
Well, they've got different programs on there. They've got an electrician, HVAC, plumbing, building maintenance. They've got the CDL pre-exam on there.
Are those all items that you've completed?
Yes,
Okay. Is there anything about behavior, personal conduct?
yes, there is.
Okay, what have you learned about personal conduct?
They've got, I don't know, there's a wellness recovery program in there that just kind of teach you how to interact with people. And I've never really been a good people person.
Have you been clean and off of drugs ever since you got in the jail?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And are you ready to commit to the process of recovery court?
And it's been a long road and I'm tired. I can't do this no more.
And do you feel like you understand the process involved in recovery court and the sanctions that could be used on you if you did not comply with what you're supposed to do in that program?
Yes, I do.
If you're allowed to go to recovery court, what is your goal for yourself?
Changed my life. I don't want my kids to be a part of my life. I just want to be a part of theirs and just do the right thing. Just work, do the right thing, and just be a part of my kids' life.
Are your kids watching you?
Yeah.
Do you think about what your kids think of you?
Yes, I do.
What do you think about that?
Well, my two oldest, 18 and 14, they know what I've been doing in my life, and I'm just fortunate that they haven't turned their back on me, and I don't want that to happen.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness for now, Your Honor.
General Wojciechowski?
Hi, Mr. McElhaney. I have a few questions for you today.
Yes, ma'am.
So you testified on the stand that you had been riding a four-wheeler that day. Is that correct, of this incident? Where was the four-wheeler?
I had it hid off the road. I pushed it off in the field.
Okay. Was it your four-wheeler?
No,
So you had stolen that?
it was family members. Older.
Had they given you permission to use it?
No, they didn't.
Okay. And when the officer came in contact with you, you told the officer you'd been mowing all day.
Told him that I cut grass here. I didn't tell him I'd been mowing all day.
Okay. And when you went over to the home of Mr. Zajac, you told him you were looking for a friend that lived there.
Yeah, he scared me.
So you weren't really looking for a friend.
No, I was looking for gas.
And you agree that you were looking in the camper windows and that you were looking that you went inside of his garage and into his barn and different places of his property.
Your Honor, I'll object to that because Mr. McElhaney pled no contest to the allegations for which he is convicted.
Well, Judge, he's testifying about that day, so I feel like it's fair game to be able to ask questions about that day. He's been found guilty.
Well, a no contest plea means he doesn't admit anything. You can cross-examine him about what he has said, and if there's anything that relates directly to the offenses for which he has been convicted or the sentence that should be imposed, I think that's fair game. Your question, it has to do with what?
Judge, it has to do with the offense that he was convicted of, the aggravated burglary, where he went into the barn of Mr. Zajacs. And so I was asking about when he was on that property, what he said to Mr. Zajac, and then also what he was doing on that property.
Overrule the objection simply because the defendant, having testified on his own behalf as a witness, his credibility is subject to cross-examination and impeachment as any other person.
All right, so you could answer that questions in regards to, that I asked in regards to going into the garage. Did you go into his garage?
Yes, I did.
Did you go into his barn?
Yes, I did.
Did you look into his camper?
It's established that he's convicted of aggravated burglary. I thought her line of questioning was going to be about the interaction that he had with the homeowner. So I would renew my objection.
Overrule the objection on the same basis. This is a sentencing hearing, and therefore evidence of other crimes that have been introduced on the basis of his prior criminal history. In addition to that, he has testified about what happened, and I think the state is entitled to cross-examine him regarding his actions on that day and whether those actions are consistent with his version of the events.
Yes, sir.
Did you look into the camper?
Yes, through the window.
All right. And were you out there with a flashlight that evening?
Yes, I was.
Okay. You didn't knock on the door of Mr. Zajac, right?
Yes, I did.
Did you ask him for help with gas?
No, nobody answered the door.
Okay. And so you decided, obviously, and you've pled guilty to it, to go ahead and start going into the homes, and it's not home, but I guess the attached part of his home in the garage, to look for things yourself, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, after you left the property, where did you go?
I went to the end of the road and I sat down at the community center, and that's when the officer pulled up.
All right. And he told you were trespassed, right? And where'd you go after that?
I decided I was walking on. So on my way home, I saw police coming down the road, and that's when I got off the road, and that's when Mr. Kelly Thaxton, that's when he come out with a flashlight and asked me what I was doing. I told him I was walking, just kept walking, and I was hot. I saw the frost freeze standing hose bib up the end of the driveway, and I walked up and got me a drink of water. Did take my shirt off and squirt myself with water because I was hot.
And you've pled guilty to attempted burglary too, in regarding to Miss Thaxton's home, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, so you agree you did go up to her porch, try to wiggle her knob and pound on the door?
I don't think that I touched her house, but I did go up on the porch, yes.
All right. And let me ask you this. So if the officer was coming back by again and you hadn't been found in any trouble at that point, why didn't you just stay on the road instead of hiding from him and just ask for a ride home?
I was under the influence. I don't know. I was under the influence, and
Okay.
I didn't want to have any more contact with him.
Now let's go back to the time period you said you were sober for about 5 years. That was when you were married, you said.
That's correct.
Tell me what years were those?
I want to say 2010, 2015.
So approximately that time, you were married the whole time and you were not using.
I mean, I wouldn't say I stayed clean for the whole 5 years, but I was doing pretty good.
Well, I mean, I think that's what your testimony was, that you were sober for 5 years while you were married. Is that not accurate?
Yeah, except for smoking pot. Yeah.
So you were still smoking pot?
Yes.
Do you feel like smoking pot is an exception to the rest of the drugs?
No, I don't.
Okay, so
I used to, but it's not.
and then around 2014 is when you got a DUI. Does that sound right?
That's correct.
So you were obviously under the influence of something at that point in time.
That's correct.
Okay. In January of 2024, you were convicted in Murray County of burglary of other than a habitation, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why were you in Murray County?
I have some friends that live in Murray County, and I was just down there one night with some friends.
All right, and so you were convicted
Yes,
and you were placed on probation, is that correct?
yes.
Where was your probation officer?
I was on probation in Murray County, but it was transferred up here.
Okay, so did you have a Dixon County probation officer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, who was that?
Sir Joe, can't remember his last name.
It's all right. Did you ask your probation officer for help or treatment?
No,
And why not?
I don't know. I don't know. I just got out of jail, and I knew, I thought I had it, and I thought I was okay.
So you didn't want treatment at the time, is that correct?
No,
Okay. And you also testified earlier that you lost custody of at least one child or maybe all of the children due to your drug usage, is that correct?
yes,
Did you seek treatment when they took your children?
I know I did not.
I've gone through and counted to your prior criminal history. Does it sound right that you have 9 felony convictions?
I thought it was 7, but I've never seen.
Okay. Did you look at the notice of enhancement that I filed?
Yes,
Okay. And so you think it's at least 7, but it could be 9?
yes, ma'am.
All right. And including one of them when you ran from the police in 2022 in Hickman County? Do you recall that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You have undergone treatment in the past, right,
Yes, I did.
for drugs?
Yes.
Was that at Hope Center?
Yes.
Did you complete that program?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And as far as not seeking treatment other times, do you feel that people around you played a role in influencing you?
To not seek treatment?
Sure.
No, I don't guess, no. Maybe some friends. You know, I mean, they didn't say don't go to treatment, but
Do you feel that you've been influenced by people around you?
yeah,
Okay, to do drugs?
in my past, yeah. I wouldn't blame it on nobody but myself.
It's your responsibility is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that a change of your surroundings and who you can associate with would help you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
I have a question. Mr. McElhaney, I've heard you testify about going up on, or what happened at Ms. Thaxton's house. How did the gun get on the front porch of her house?
I'm not sure about the gun.
Your Honor, he's not pled, if I may, he's not pled to possessing that firearm. That charge was dismissed in settlement.
Well, I'm sorry. Exactly. And the only thing taken out of the vehicle as testified was the weapon. So overrule your objection. So the question is, when you've been found guilty of burglary of an automobile, you pled no contest to that. The testimony here has been that the only thing taken out of that vehicle was the weapon that ended up on the front porch of Ms. Thaxton's house. So I'm asking you if you can enlighten me on how that occurred.
Your Honor, I pled guilty to the car burglary because it was part of the plea. And I asked why I was being charged with that if the gun was being dismissed, because I don't have any idea how the gun got
So
there.
you, even though you pled no contest to the charge of burglary of an automobile, you have no way to explain what was taken out of the automobile and that sort of thing?
No, sir.
Right. Thank you. You can step down.